I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Blathering, episode 137 or 138. Remember when I used to care about the numbers? This might be a shorter show today. Fix this camera. How do I know it should be a shorter show? My point is right now, get your calls in if you want to call the show, because you're going to help me make this show magic. Eric Elliott's here, says blather us up. This is how I know it should be a short show. I sat down to make notes on what I wanted to talk about or where we might want to go tonight. For those watching, there's the notes. For those listening, it's a blank card. I started reading the news and also had to make a video on my phone of how to turn off your Ring sound notifications from my mother and father. And I looked up, and it was time to stream. I'm exhausted. Not because of anything in particular. Just like a lot of us, just tired. I mean, I'll blame, if I'm going to blame one reason for me being completely tired and exhausted, to the point my eyes, it's not just bags under my eyes, it's my eyes are burning. You ever get so tired where your eyes just are kind of, just got that feeling where you just want to shut them? You just want to go to sleep? That's what I'm feeling right now. But if there's one thing I can blame for that, it's my Chihuahua, Francis. My 5-pound, sometimes 6.5 pound. One time she was almost 9 pounds. We got in trouble that day. She's back down to 5. My almost 5-pound Chihuahua has decided that every 2 hours, lights out. I finally usually go to sleep where the phone is off, everything's off, between 11:30 and 1 a.m., generally speaking. So 1, 3, 5, 7, almost on the dot, Francis wakes me up. And I've been talking about this on the show, but now it's reached concerning levels because I'm exhausted. I couldn't do some work last night. The delivery work I've been doing on the side here to make ends meet. I couldn't do it last night because I was too tired. I was like, I'm going to hurt somebody or a burrito. There we are. Thanks to those who support on Patreon or YouTube channel members here who get to watch the video for a Monday morning show, or those who listen on the podcast feed. Last night's episode was a real honest one, and hope you enjoyed it. And some people have reached out saying that they did, so kind of where I'm at. Also, because of that, I'm not going to dive in deep to anything. If you guys got any questions, I'll answer them. But if you... this mic might come off too. What a day. What a day. This mic is going to come off. Okay. All right, here's what we're going to do. All right, this mic comes in for right now. Hello. This mic goes mute. And then we're going to fix this. Oh, my gosh. If you guys have any questions for me about Saturday Night Live, the 50th, or anything like that, happy to answer. I think we might dive in a little deeper on Anytime with Ken and Alden. But I don't want to go into detail it on my own today because I talked about some of it and some of the memories and everything around it on a Monday morning show. So if you have anything, call on into the show today by the normal ways. It means this is so funny. This is truly live to tape. This happens with these mics. You move them and you don't really think about it. And after a while, they start I've had a couple of these fall off in the middle of Force Center episodes. That were pre-taped, so we didn't have to deal with this live. This is the mic that allows me to get out of the camera range. All right, I think that's going to be good for right now. Just plug it back in. Question: will we have more databank brawls in the future? Probably not in the immediate future, but I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't rule it out there, Eric. The biggest reason was the pandemic put us in separate spots, and we couldn't be in the same room. And Joseph, it's his show. He felt, I think correctly, that without it being in the same room, we kind of couldn't deal with the the energy was different. It's not that you can't improv in different spots, but that's one of the reasons we kind of shut it down. Also, we had done so many episodes that they started to become a little repetitive for us, and we wanted to move to other things, but it could come back. The other thing that's bothered me, this fan. Yeah, I have a laptop issue with my fan going so much, and it's affecting the quality of my audio too. It's a Monday. I got a case of the Mondays. Questions about the books. Oh yeah, Cameron. Ken, I just ordered your Star Wars book earlier. Are those sent from you or distributed? Those are from me. So Cameron, I'm looking at your order right now. I could share Cameron's address with the world right now. I know where he lives. I'm staring at it right now. That is from me. So that is actually a stash that I have in my garage, all nice and secure. So I will be sending those after I personalize them and throw in a little. When you order from me, here's what you do here. When you order from me, you get put into this little thing here. This one's set aside for Kingsport Cal. Kingsport Cal got a book, and I've thrown a little extra, little surprises. You never know, little surprises. So I appreciate that, Cameron. I would love to, if anyone's out there who hasn't picked up a personalized copy of Why We Love Star Wars. Most of you have, quite frankly. But if you haven't, now's the time. I don't think I can keep that shop going. They have raised the prices, and I've complained about this before, so I don't want to old man it and just keep bringing it up. But I paid for it this month, and I just don't think I can afford it next month. It's unreasonable. I have to find better ways to do it. So I might find a way to not have a direct shop. You can get it via email or something through me. But the shop, it's a one-stop shop thing. So there you go. Cameron says, love to hear. I wonder if you drop some quotes or something fun in there. I write you a little nice message, and then I put little things in you get little things of mine, little extra bonuses. In the past, people have got actual Return of the Jedi Topps trading cards that were from my collection when I was a kid. Like, I've had them since 1983. And I think I got through all those, and now I have ones that were purchased over the last couple of years. But some people actually got like my own collection. There's still some cards. In fact, Cameron, I'll toss a couple in that are actually from my collection when I was a Ute. I'm not going to dox him. So there you go. So if you got questions, yeah, I do have Brian Jackson McClunky. I've got a bad case of the tired Mondays. I don't even think I'm going to work much later tonight. And tonight I was going to try to work out. I haven't been in the gym about 2 weeks. You know how I know I need to get back in the gym? Like, my sweatpants are starting to fall down. Okay? I am not feeling or looking my best right now. And that's because I've been extremely depressed. And when you're, scrimping pennies, it's just easy to go up to 7-Eleven and get 2 slices of pizza for $4 than it is to go get healthy food to cook and make on your own, even though that's the better option and lasts longer. It's easy to just go like, you know what, I'm going to go get the pizza. And I've had about 15 to 16 days. Screw it. I've had almost 30 days of let's go get the pizza. And tonight I was going to be like, we're going to work out tonight. Hard. I was going to do that hard. I was going to get my Built by Becky going on Instagram, and I was going to work out hard. I don't know if I can do that tonight. I just don't know. Rich T supports pizza. Brian Jackson McClunky says, also says sometimes you need a personal holiday. Yeah, there's a chance. I was in my head. I was like, maybe I just shouldn't do a show tonight, but we'll be here for a little bit. Addie says, I feel you on this. Finally made it back to the gym today after a month. Good for you, Addie. No, I mean, it's, again, work out at your own pace and desire. It's respectful to those who don't want to work out. I love working out, and I love when I feel, it's not even how I don't turn into Chris Hemsworth overnight here, but like, your body moves and it's grooving, and my back is this episode's this episode's just me going, oh. And we haven't even got to the news. We haven't even got to the fact that a airplane flying out of Minneapolis tried to land in Toronto and ended up on its head did you? And thankfully, I don't think anyone's uh, deceased in this accident. I'm trying to find out what it is. Rich T, I missed that comment. I'll go back up. Coop says, go to 7-Eleven, get a Twinkie wiener sandwich, and be a fool for the rest of your life, or I'll explode. Yeah, dead? Yeah. Yes, David. That's exactly. Yeah. Yes. If anyone was watching Force Center Live, I brought up my search engine to look up some Star Wars stuff, and that popped up in my news alerts, and I was just like, "What's happening here?" It's because it's because what's going on with the FAA and the tragedy in Washington, and then the military jet and another jet and the jet in Philly and everything, like, and I'll say this up top out of just common sense. It's not necessarily that they're all connected. It's not necessarily that there's that's connected to the problems and what Doge is doing and all that stuff. It could just be we're in a bad run, right? Like tragic run, like over 67 lives lost in DC and all that stuff. Like we could just be it's just there. But when you see even today some of the words coming out of the FAA people, FAA people being fired and the desire, which is in line with Project 2025, to privatize so much stuff because we want corporations to do it. And pretty soon you'll have, air traffic control co, and they'll be the contract provider of air traffic controllers at airports. We see all that, and then I have some friends who are like, I don't know if I'm flying again. And that's just not possible for me on some things coming up this year. It's not possible for other people. But, I got to say, normally I'd be like, oh, yeah, come on, you're overreacting. I don't know. And so, David, when I saw that, that's exactly what my thought was like. The planes are literally dropping out of the sky. Yeah, 8984M. If you guys haven't looked at the photo, here, I'll try to see. I gotta say, see, we'll get it up here for those watching. It's absolutely there. It is. All right, so let me do the old screen share here for those who haven't seen it. That's literally. So I was literally broadcasting on Force Center, and that was exactly what I thought there. All right, so there we go. Well, damn it, that's video. That's video. I don't want to play it. But yes, look it up. Look it up. It's and yeah, it's just like, what's happening? What's happening? Oh, here's another shot. Let me share this tab instead from cover of the Rolling Stone. Yeah, as Vetnik says. Obviously the FAA is a waste. Glad we're saving that money. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Sorry. I'm telling you, man. Coop says it's a scary time to work across the street from a private airport. I agree with that. I live within striking distance of the Burbank airport. Good luck coming to find me, Kingsport Kyle. But the planes take off every day. If you listen to my ASMR videos, you hear them in the background a lot. Planes take off and land every day. I see them some days when the wind changes. They'll fly over my house or so low my old apartment. I could look up and wave at the pilots of these 747s and stuff like that. Like that's how close. So yeah, right now we'll see. Anyways, can't park there, mate. I'm glad right now we have no one dead, and I haven't heard how. If anyone's heard how the plane, while trying to land, ended up upside down. The weather.com story on it simply says a plane landing went horribly awry during winter weather Monday at the Toronto Pearson International Airport. The Delta flight from Minnesota ended up flipped over on the runway. Officials said everyone on board was accounted for. Thank God. I just want... It's like the movie Flight with Denzel. Yes, this is what it is. Oh, my God. Alt now on Blue Sky says something about this is why you need weather forecasts. Yeah, it's definitely okay. Tully's got a 40-mile-per-hour crosswinds. Got it. That'll do it. That'll do it, pig. That'll do. Yeah, that'll do it. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, going back to the comments up top. Rich T said this. Mr. Bones, I love Mr. Bones. I thought he was great and funny. Didn't realize he was largely disliked. That's so interesting to me. But I like learning that kind of thing. So thank you. Yeah, I wrote about Mr. Bones in the Why We Love Star Wars. And yeah, Mr. Bones, initially, there's a lot of eye rolling around Mr. Bones. A battle droid named Mr. Bones. So stupid. And Mr. Bones ended up becoming part of one of my favorite Star Wars moments. Going to the SNL thing, Dylan Barry, the Dylan Barry Network. Check out Dylan's channel. He's got pop culture stuff, breakdowns, movie reviews, all those kind of things. Says, what were your verbal wow moments from the SNL special? The dopamine hits of nostalgia and celebrity were overwhelming. Yeah, the nostalgia thing I talked about in more detail on a Monday morning show, so check that out. I will refrain from remixing that. It was just from Steve Martin's opening monologue with help from Mulaney and Martin Short. I thought was just pitch perfect. I think he's the best host ever there, and it made perfect sense that Lauren would trust him to do that. Thought the tone was great. I enjoyed most of the sketches, and even the ones I didn't, I thought did a good job of involving the celebrities. It's a massive. I mean, you got well over like 170 cast members and hosts and celebrities, and there's so many people there in different eras, and I think they did the best they could. That was I think they handled it very well. But as far as the comedy, yeah, I was watching. This is how much I loved it. I watched the show live, and then when I went to bed, instead of relaxing with ASMR or playing a video game, I just rewatched the sketches that they were airing. I loved the Tina Fey and Amy Poehler Q&A sketch. I loved seeing the people in the background on all those sketches. I thought it was pitch perfect. The Kate McKinnon, Meryl Streep, Pedro Pascal, Woody Harrelson sketch, those are always great. I think Kate McKinnon is one of the funniest people ever to be on that show. She has an explosive energy to her that I think you just can't teach. And Farrell had that back in the day. Belushi had that. Aykroyd, Leslie Jones had that energy. I believe. Loved the Black Jeopardy sketch. A lot of things there. So it was all those moments. Just the memories. It was just fun to see it all there. Addie says, I found the video short where everyone was dead except Belushi creepy. Yeah, well, I mean, but they play that every the Tom Schiller thing. I like it. It is haunting. They made it obviously well before life played out, and Belushi is the first to go. But yeah, they play that usually at every anniversary special, and I was kind of glad they didn't. I actually liked that they didn't do an in memoriam. They did do it, and one of my favorite things they did was the in memoriam for characters and tropes and things that just should die. And they found a way to honor these great sketches and great moments by also acknowledging, times change, and we may have done wrong. Though the one thing I'll say is they included in that they included in that the famous Chevy Chase Richard Pryor sketch, which they bleeped out the right words to bleep out. But I love that sketch, and I also think it's important to the history of Saturday Night Live and to the history of comedy. And if you dive more into that, there's a great book called Saturday Night. It was out of print for a long while. It's not like the ones that's the oral history of Saturday Night Live, which is good as well. I think that was Live from New York or whatever it was. I think it's just called Saturday Night, and it's a novel, not a novel. It's a book about the first 5 years of SNL, and then they did an expanded version, which went a little bit into up to about 85 to Lauren's return. But that they go into the Pryor episode, which is season 1. Pryor brought in his own writers. Pryor was also at the time, outside of Garrett Morris, considered Saturday Night Live this white comedy show that had sprung up, and he was kind of fighting back against that. So and Pryor could be at times difficult to deal with. So that week was very tense. It was very real, and that sketch with him and Chevy is real. The energy is real. And I think it's easy to throw it into a, hey, we couldn't do that anymore. I think without you using all the words, you should do a sketch like that again. It was not just a sketch. Not just a sketch. Osvetnik says, I know Chev is very controversial these days, but I would have liked for him to have a small moment. There's some medical issues now, though, and so I know why they didn't. Yeah, he was there, right? Yeah, he was there and got to go up on stage. And that's what's crazy too, man. You got Lauren and Chevy and Garrett, Steve Martin. They're like late 70s, 80s. I think Chevy Chase is in his 80s now. Something else, man. It's crazy. But then you watch Steve Martin at 79, man. I hope I'm that spry at 59. I'll take 59. There you go. Chris Ryan's here. I was hoping Garrett Morris got to cap it off with a good night and have a pleasant tomorrow. But I'll tell you what, Garrett, he sat down on stage at home base, but I love the energy he had. I thought he was great. His timing was great. He's good. I never met him, but he used to co-run a show in downtown LA at the Downtown Comedy Club, and I used to go there all the time. And just every night I was there, he was not there, and generally everyone else got to meet him. I was always bummed I didn't get to meet him. Tully asked, I think it's time for Lauren to step back. It's getting there. I mean, it's like him and like Vince McMahon outside of who Vince is, and I don't think Lauren's that. Vince is a monster, but you look at someone like that who's like the face of something for such a long time, 50 plus years. It's hard to imagine it without them, and then they're still going. And I like that about this era. I like that, we got directors, Scorsese and Coppola and Spielberg, or Ridley Scott. They're still working. They still want to work. I love seeing David Byrne, an aging rocker. I love seeing the B-52s. It was a little bit of an uneven performance. I love to see them going. Paul McCartney, the Golden Slumbers medley, great way to end the show. Paul's voice isn't there anymore. That's the truth. He gets through it, but it's still Paul McCartney rocking out at like 80. Like that's insane to me. But it's also where we are. We don't have to put this up. Age is the number. Keep going, and be who you want to be. And I really look up to that. So as far as Lauren, I don't want to sidestep the question, Tully. I think it's getting there. And should the show continue without him? Part of me says absolutely, and part of me says maybe it'd be time. But what will come in its place? And do we need something in its place? We're in a different era now. These Tonight shows and late nights and everything don't have the impact that they used to. Sometimes I think that's a good thing. Sometimes I think it's a bad thing. And Saturday Night Live was anti-culture. It was counterculture for sure. It was a punch to the face of old broadcast television. It has long since become the standard. And maybe that means it's time for something else to rise up in its place. I don't know. Yeah, Coop is right. David Byrne is a weird old man I want to grow into. I mentioned that on the shows last week because I was watching the concert was on Friday night. Just love watching him go, man. Just love watching him go. David Byrne is a genius and all-around cool guy, says Laserbolt, who's also a genius and all-around cool guy. Check out his videos. I watched all 12 minutes. Laserbolt on his channel, Laserbolt Videos, had a video where he and some buddies, I don't know, like your online squad, you have to explain what that is, Laserbolt. They all just flew into Lake Tahoe on a flight simulator, and I sat there and watched it. I went, oh, yeah, it's pretty. I like it. And it was relaxing. Good job. Good job, Laserbolt. Brian Jackson says the Adam Sandler song was touching. It was. They got me teary-eyed. I was getting kind of I explained it a little bit more on a Monday morning show, so check that out. But I was going along. I was like, oh, this might get me. Then he said 8 years of Hartman the Glue and started to just get misty-eyed. Tully says, I heard Tina Fey being rumored to replace him for a while. I could see. Yeah, I could see Tina Fey. There would have been a time that I would have suggested Al Franken. It's not the time, not for political stuff or what he did to get removed from the Senate, but he and Tom Davis had that year in 1985, and then it didn't work out after 13 episodes. But I think he's up there too. I think it needs to be. Seth Meyers comes up, but Seth's at a great spot. I don't think you'll see Seth leave his talk show, but Seth, Tina Fey, I can see that there. All right. Where are we at? We got some calls. Do you want to call in? Last week, we had a record-setting number of calls. Talking about the halftime show, talking about football. So I know it's going to be a little bit of a quieter night, but I want to hear from you. Hey, if you want to find a way to support me, there's a couple ways to do it. Listening here, liking this video, liking this stream, checking in on things, leaving a comment later on. If you're watching, say, hello, I'm watching now on repeat. But also Patreon at patreon.com/Ken Napzok is a way to do it. I just put up a new set live in the Yoo-Hoo room. Nothing special about it. Just a set I kind of liked. The 4K video quality was really good, so I was like, let's put it up. And I blogged about it a little bit, and that's going to be something you'll see more of on the Patreon page. You can also get Pop Rockin' Radio. This last week's episode, I thought was one of my finest playlists, if I may say so myself. Check it out. Every person on Patreon gets it. But I have some stuff I am putting together to it will add a support tier on Patreon, but it will be a important level that if I can get sustained support will help me achieve a big goal, and that would be recording my first comedy hour, cameras, release, all that kind of stuff, and giving myself a lot of room to take off. I pretty much know the stuff I'd want to say on the show. But I'm looking at doing it at 50, which means in just a little over a year. So I'm trying to tie that in. Great suggestion from our buddy Mark Ellis on not doing like I'm not crowdfunding. I'm not kickstarting a special. That costs a lot of money, and it's something I want to take care of myself. But I'm going to have a portion of my Patreon page being dedicated to that goal and sharing the process, which includes, hey, this set didn't go great, or hey, I'm fearful of doing this. A little bit of a blog, maybe occasionally a vlog, but a lot of comedy sets and stuff that I want to share. So look for that, okay, on the Patreon page. But you can support now at patreon.com/Ken Napzok. Serenity Jane's here. Hi, Jane. Chris King's here. Super exciting news. Yeah, thank you. Look for that. Look for that. I'm putting it together. Had lunch with Mark Ellis and Josh McCouga yesterday, and that came up, and it was a good idea. So there we go. Also, you can check out the Blathering Live. Star Wars Nobody Says loved your comedy album. Thank you. That was a great thing to get out, recording that live in London. And that some of the things on there would appear in a hour-long special of mine, but that's okay. I consider that like a band releasing an EP. Then they get signed to a major label and they re-record 4 of the songs from the EP in a better way. That's what that would be. Rich T. Okay, I got Anthony. I got Addie. We're gonna get to those calls. Rich T says, Ken, think you make an updated book where things include Rise of Skywalker, Mando, and everything that's come out since the book? No, I don't. I really don't. I got to say, I don't think I will. I think you will see. I've always wanted to put more out on Force Center. We did a little bit of some of the essays. We were just talking about it today on Force Center Live. The numbers weren't that good, and so we kind of pulled back from doing it because it took a lot of effort. I have to edit everything, and I'm not the greatest editor and don't have a lot of time to edit. But I got that lessons from Little Leia, and then the Jar Jar and the Queen one that I had put out would have been entries into a Why We Love Star Wars 2. The big reason I won't do it is the sad reality is it is a great legacy thing. Proud of it. Still hawking these books now. Head to the shop on kennapzok.com. But I just got my statement from the book publisher for the holiday quarter of 2024. I'm due $68. The reality is I'm not going to take 8 months to write a book and have to watch as it's not just about profits, but just my ability to sustain my career and my life kind of fly away while a book publisher takes a ton of things that I earned. So that's kind of where we're at. All right. We got 16 seconds of sports later today as well. But let us get to some calls here. I'm going to take calls from Anthony and Addie. Anthony is on the show first here today from Force Ghost Conversations, a great Star Wars podcast. I was on it. Check out that episode. Put all the episodes there. Anthony, how you doing, buddy?
I am okay right now, Ken. Thanks for having me on.
I'll take the heavy okay.
Yeah. It's been full disclosure. It's been a not great week, I'll say, just in general with things in the world. My wife is a contractor for the federal government, and on Friday, the team that she has a contract with was inexplicably let go. So tomorrow she may not have a job anymore. So we'll find that out tomorrow.
Anthony, I feel it. I feel the stress in your voice. We all know it. And no words can provide true comfort. But our collective dismay, if not anger at the people behind it, maybe will help a little bit. Sorry to hear that, Anthony.
I agree. Thank you for that. But, that's why we're here, to just, geek out about things that we like and ask random questions. So I got a question for you randomly.
Oh, I love it.
All right.
Hit me.
I saw this on the internet, so I was like, I think this is a good one that'll throw at Ken here, because we know random athletes from across time and space. If you could have a redo on any athlete's career, who would it be and why?
Any redo on an athlete's career. Okay. Explain, what do you mean by, I want to make sure I get it right. So have it go a different way?
Yeah,
team?
Like maybe they got, no, let's say they got drafted by the same team. But maybe things worked out different. Like I guess the real impetus of this is like, who do you just wish you could just see, like maybe something work out differently for them or better for them? A play goes better for them. It changes the trajectory of their career. Who are you pulling for in this scenario?
Yeah, you know what? I'm definitely always pulling for Don Mattingly and Dan Marino to get the championships they never got as players. I'm pulling for Don Mattingly to even get to the World Series as a player, and I've talked about some of those players in the past. There's sometimes it's injuries too. I wouldn't call myself I didn't own a jersey or wasn't a fan, but it was always a bummer to me. Like a player like Mark Pryor comes up and heralded, heralded and going to change the game and a can't miss pitching prospect. And then the arm injuries hit and it doesn't happen. And now he's a great pitching coach. But I look at a player like him, Kerry Wood a little bit. Kerry Wood had a little bit of a more impactful and longer career. And now we see more and more pitching injuries, and I know it's a conversation point, and we wonder what's going on and the velocity and all that kind of stuff. Tommy John surgeries are almost required coming out of high school these days.
Oh my God,
But I look at someone like that where you were like, oh, this player's coming up and they're in the minor leagues, or Pryor barely was in the minor leagues if it was at all. I can't remember the details there, but and then they show up and you're like, here it is. A new era has begun. Oh, crap, it's over. And that's an answer for me to put out
there. Was he? What was Pryor, the Game 6 or Game 7 starter in that 2003 series?
He was on the mound for the Bartman game. Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yes, he was. I believe he started that inning. Yep.
Man, so just right there on the cusp of it. And then, not Steve Bartman, unfortunately, the guy that gets blamed for it.
Yeah, who shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Be at all.
There's
exactly.
That great 2-hour ESPN 30 for 30 on Bartman that I think all should watch. Yeah.
That poor
guy.
But
that's what it'd be. Yeah. Other than the ones that I've answered before about Mattingly and Marino and some of my favorite players not winning, but I think of those guys often.
I think Mattingly's a good one too, where it's like he was almost there, right? He got left. He left the Yankees 95, but just before.
Just before, and got there right after the run in the late 70s into 81. Yeah, absolutely. Rich T is.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Rich T is an answer too. I agree with Barry Sanders. Look, great career, Hall of Fame career, no problems there. But and this, Romo and Laserbolt in chat will agree. The Lions almost getting there with one championship game. He deserved the playoffs. He deserved a deep run in the playoffs every year. Barry Sanders.
I think one in the chat here is really good too. It's Trout. I'm seeing that one pretty frequently here. I'm like, man, if no playoff wins for arguably the best player of this last 15 years here.
Trout is, yeah, man. And I just think of Cody Hall over there at Wangers and the pain he has with losing Ohtani and the World Series going to the Dodgers. Trout, Mike Trout, especially with the injuries in the last couple of years, is absolutely sliding into that tragic territory. Great career, decorated career, probably going to go in the Hall of Fame.
Too. Maybe one of the last loyal players in the sport.
Yep. And, at this point, it's sad, but you hope he gets a run with, I don't know, Atlanta for half of the season if they need him, or, a team that's making a run, ending up in the Mets. Hell, ending up with the Dodgers, which Cody Hall would probably stop rooting for anyone in the sport. But, you know what I mean? Like, Trout's still got time. Yeah. He's still got time. But it's a little bit, some people cited in chat, Ken Griffey Jr. Great career. Absolutely no problem.
Hall of Famer. I don't think he wants to redo it.
Yeah, but he should have broken Babe Ruth's record, right? That was the guy. That was the guy to do it. No championships, the injuries, going to Cincinnati, all that stuff. So yeah, Trout's in that category for me.
That's interesting. Like, you went for the route of like the character or the person that like you almost was there, right? And you wanted to see them get over the hump. Whereas like my brain immediately goes to random prospect in 2004 for the Phillies, Gavin Floyd, who I thought if you'd have talked to me in 2004, I was like, this man's going to take the league by storm, the next 300 game winner.
Yep.
And then gets traded for Freddie Garcia 2 years later. I'm like, well, there goes everything.
That's so funny. You mentioned inside baseball talk here today, folks. Gavin Floyd was, on my fantasy team in 2004. Me and my friend Corey still own this team together, and we built a reputation in our league of drafting players because at the time, you couldn't, you can't even out, but still even out. We would draft minor leaguers, and we were like, it was mostly Corey. We were great scouts, and to the point where people were upset at us. Like, we had Adam Dunn for $1, but our most famous one was Albert Pujols. So we drafted him for $3. Late in the round of our draft, while people were fighting over like Pedro Feliz and all these other prospects. We got Albert Pujols. Bonilla was down for 2 weeks. We're like, we'll get a couple of bats with the kid and send him back down. And then he never stopped. So Gavin Floyd was one of those. And we were like all in on Gavin Floyd. And nothing.
I was too. I was driving up to Reading, PA all the time to check him out with the Phils.
Sorry. There's Cody. Cody Hall checks in. Cody Hall checks in. I almost got to get you a link. I know you're probably getting on the road. That's amazing. I'm so sorry, Cody. I'm so sorry. I don't know what else to tell you. I think Mike Trout is one of the greatest players of all time. I don't. If you could call in, I emailed you the link. Let me know, Cody. Let's talk about it. Let's talk through it. Let's just make this a baseball episode. Chris Gig, Gavin Floyd, Dominic Brown was another one. Brown. Oh my God! When the baseball season comes back, I am relaunching Box Score Heroes on this channel. So I had the separate YouTube channel, Box Score Heroes. I just launched it at the wrong time in my life. We're gonna do this, and I want to do it as a whole episode. Producer Steve, take notes, because I'm making you do the show with me, Producer Steve. We're going to do an episode of the almost wers and never was episode of those players. Dylan says we'll definitely come up on Wangers. Yeah, I'm going to be watching the Wangers tonight. Andy, this is great. Before I let you go, this might be the answer.
All right.
Bo Jackson. JMB says it in chat. In two sports. That's the thing. JMB is right. I'd be a twofer. Likely get a Hall of Famer football. It's possible in baseball. I think it was always going to be a little less of the superstar in baseball outside of his name, but we were completely robbed. And I've told the story before, but I was in a J.C. Penney or a Mervyn's on a Sunday shopping with the folks, watching that game against the Bengals when his hip just came out of his body, and just getting that feeling even then, going, oh, this is all right. He's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. He was just too good. The good Lord had to take him from the sports because he just would have dominated for so long. Anthony, appreciate it. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
Of course, Ken. Thanks so much.
All right, hang in there, buddy. Anthony, check out Force Ghost Conversations. Great show. Anthony's great at what he does. Great conversations about Star Wars. So check it out. And if you want to support someone who's might be facing some struggles at home with this horrible situation going on with all these federal jobs being cut, support the shows. Support the podcast. And Coop coming in. Baseball is a surprisingly important plot device in Deep Space Nine. I know. I absolutely know. How about this? What if I just watch that episode of Deep Space Nine? Just the Cisco baseball episode. You'll let me know. Producer Steven a bit for 16 seconds of sports, though this is a sports heavy episode, which sometimes I apologize for. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? All right, here we go. All right, we're just doing this today. I don't care. All right, here he is.
Hey, buddy.
Cody, did you really check in just to hear me talk about you and Mike?
Oh, yeah. So I'm at the end of the workday here. I'm like, all right, let's just browse the websites. Let's check Blue Sky. Let's check emails. Let's check YouTube. Oh, Ken's live right now. Great. Yeah. Let's see how long he's been going for. I'll click on it. First thing I hear, Mike Trout, let's trade him to the Braves or the Dodgers. Even worse. Thank you so much for that, Ken. What a great start to my week.
But Cody, the question is like, what sports star's career would you like to redo? And I always answer Maddie and Liam Marino, get them that title, talking about injuries, and they brought it up. And look, Trout's not done, but I just worry. Do you have that feeling in the pit of your stomach that it's just this is it?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm upset because you're right, and everyone's right when they bring this up. So I totally get it. And yeah, look, the first 10 years of his career were pretty damn magical. It's a shame we couldn't get 24 other players to kind of help him out a little bit. But no, I get it. I agree. It's just sensitive topic.
It's sensitive topic. Anthony says bring Trout home to Philly. That's he and Bryce Harper playing together. And I know, look, I'm just gonna drag your heart through the mud here, but the Ohtani's amazing to watch. But it's got to be just a particular kind of pain, like almost like he did it out of spite to go win.
Yeah, I talked about this on Wangers a little bit, but I recorded a video of me watching all of Ohtani's home runs that he hit with the Dodgers last year as just like a sad Angels fan, and I uploaded it to YouTube, but it got obviously blocked for copyright, so I wasn't able to release it. But that was cathartic to go through that 15-minute experience of just watching him hit like 50 home runs for the Dodgers.
But couldn't have been Could that have been released on like TikTok or something? That seems like it'd go viral.
I do have the file still, so we'll see. There's got to be some platform out there that won't. But by the time I got it, like the World Series was already 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, you missed the trend.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep you too much. I know you got Wangers tonight, and you got to drive 3 hours to get over the Wangers. But anything big on the show tonight? What's going on? What's going on in Wanger world?
Well, not a lot actually, because that was a very nice tee up you gave me there. But tonight we're taking the week off because Christian is currently in Mexico, and the thought of me hosting a show by myself is just the worst thing in the world. So we're going to take this week off. All right. Maybe upload some classic clips to some platform and whatnot. But we'll be back next week.
Okay, so we'll get more Pokemon names and viral clips later. Okay, all right. Exactly. I did such a good job of setting you up though. So
I wanted to stop you, but I was like, he gotta let him go at this point.
He's in host mode, that a-hole. Cody, final thing. I'll let you go, but it was impromptu, and again, you live too far away. But yesterday, Mark Ellis and I met up with Josh McCouga for lunch. Josh was in town, and Josh requested we eat at Chili's. And we went to the Chili's where you and I first met, where you were hired into the Schmoes world. We sat there and ate for 2 hours, and it's not changed, buddy. The memories are strong.
Oh God! Did you sit at the bar at the
we
bar
did.
That we used to? Yeah.
We sat in the corner. We sat in the corner, and we were going through the memories. Mark was like, "This right here was where I impressed Maude Garrett with Tetris. That right there is where Mark Riley nearly died." And I was like, "That's where I interviewed Cody out there on the wet grass."
I think I remember watching the the Royals winning a World Series there. And at that point, Mike Trout was only a couple years into his wasted career. Good memories.
Good memories. Well, you're still in our heart. You're still in our heart. All right, Cody, thanks for checking in. I'm sorry about the pain, and I won't mention.
Okay.
I'll keep your name out my mouth. Okay.
All righty, man.
Cody Hall, everybody, check out the Wagers. Not tonight, though, but check them out in the future. Coming up, we'll say top of the hour. We got 16 seconds of sports. If you got any super blathers, go ahead and get them in. If you get questions like this one from Chris King, we'll get to Chris's question before we get to Addie calling in. Ken, have you ever seen any of the Paddington movies? I saw Paddington in Peru this weekend. It was such a delight. That British bear is wholesome, hilarious, hero the world needs right now. I haven't, though. I think I saw some Paddington's been around for a while. I'm not talking about just the last like 10, 15 years, but like I saw when I was young, like on VHS tape, what I swear is like Paddington Bear stuff. Because we had my great aunt and uncle, both since passed on. They had a friend from England who used to always come. We used to go up to Green Valley Lake, which is near Big Bear in San Bernardino Mountains here in California. They lived up there, and we go up there at Thanksgiving and we hang out for the holidays and whatnot. And their friend from London was in town, and I remember sitting down and watching some kind of talking bear from London show. The David McKeith's stop motion stuff. That's what it was. It was the stop motion stuff. Okay. Well, I haven't seen them, but Laserbolt says absolutely love the Paddington movies. Absolutely shockingly good. They're Joe Starr's favorite movies. Joe Starr from Wizards of the Coast, formerly Screen Junkies fandom, absolutely loves the Paddington movies. So if it's good for Joe, it's good for me. Maybe I'll check it out when I need something wholesome to watch there. Coop's still talking about DS9 in chat, and I think it's lovely and tragic that I'll never watch it. Okay, we're going to bring caller. We got Addie on the phone. Addie's checking in. She had a home run of a segment last week, even though it was depressing news, over 60 seconds of science. Addie, how are we doing this week?
Up and not crying, Ken.
Up and not crying. Up and not crying. And thank you for titling the episode last week.
Oh, that was, yeah, I'll try to do it again, I guess. I don't know. No, don't worry. The episode's going to be Mike Trout Hurts, and that's going to be the title of the episode. What's on your mind, Addie? And I almost said, how can we help you? But I think just because we all need some help right now. Well, so two things, and then I'll get to the question I have stolen out of the chat. So I was going to call in and talk about SNL, but we did that already.
All right, but if you got something you want to share, I want to hear.
I've not seen a lot of older SNL, and I found the short film they showed with John Belushi from 1976 incredibly creepy. Yeah,
it could come. I could see that. Like I say, it's haunting, but yeah,
everyone's dead but him, and it's just like that. Ooh.
Yeah, but he's a dancer.
No, that was funny, but just like I guess like. If you knew then what you knew now, sort of like, it was just, it was a little weird. But the Adam Sandler thing was my favorite part.
Same.
Also, I think you need to watch some musicals before you watch Paddington.
Oh, why's that? Does the bear sing? Does the goddamn bear sing?
I have no idea, but you owe me musicals.
Gotcha.
I have not seen Paddington. I also hear they're excellent. I've just not seen them.
I did think of Addie when during the SNL 50 with the John Mulaney New York thing and the musicals. I was watching it here at my desk doing some work, and Alden Diaz was texting me during that, and he was like, "Ken, you probably don't get this reference. It's to a musical." So then we kept texting back and forth, and I was like, "Alden, you probably don't get this. This is from something called Little Shop of Horrors," and it was a lot of fun. But I also didn't get half the references. So.
Yeah, little shop, and there was quite a bit of Les Mis in there.
Yes.
But anyway, my question that I'm going to lovingly steal from the chat.
Okay.
Favorite movie or TV president in honor of President's Day.
Yeah, thank you. It's fun. I titled this episode about President's Day, and I was gonna do here's what I had planned on Sunday. I had a great idea. I made the thumbnail, and I was like, "Oh, what if we did like a poll of like our most favorite like forgotten president. Like regardless of James K. Polk was always my answer. He's not the greatest president for a lot of reasons, but I was gonna have fun with that. And then I just totally woke up and I was like, nah, not today. So say it again. Favorite on-screen TV president
or movie. The chat question was specifically movie. I'm throwing TV in there because that's my answer.
Yeah. No, I think that's good. I am making sure. I'm making sure I can get the right. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's Bill Pullman in Independence Day. Absolutely. What I would hope a president could be. Including the flying the plane. So yeah, I would go with what is this president's name? What is this character's name? President
Whitmore.
Thomas Whitmore.
Back. Producer Steve's in there.
Oh, gotcha. President Whitmore. Thank you, everybody. Yes. That's what I'd go with. That immediately jumps to mind.
I go to my Sorkin presidents. Michael Douglas's character from The American President. And then I've actually been rewatching The West Wing. And President Bartlett is just an ideal we have swung so far away from.
Yeah. Ain't gonna happen. JMV says Morgan Freeman from Deep Impact. That's a great poll. Yeah. Brian Jackson McCulley, Dave, Kevin Kline in there. This is great. Some great answers coming in through. Yeah, Steve says, remember when we thought the TV show Veep was too outrageous? Oh, my gosh. But President Selena Meyer would actually be one of my answers. Absolutely would put that in there. Yes. 8984M sneaks in Abe Lincoln as depicted in the Spielberg movie. Yes, so Daniel Day-Lewis's Lincoln would be good. Oh, yeah, you know what, Laserbolt? I also was looking up that. Laserbolt drew a blank, but also had the right answer like me. The president lady on Battlestar Galactica was solid, yes.
Who was
Bill Pullman's wife. First lady.
Day, yeah.
Yep. Absolutely love that. This is Mary McDonald, excuse me. What? God, I love Battlestar Galactica. Why am I drawing a blank? I'm having one of those days where nothing is in my brain right now. It is an empty brain day. And maybe that's okay, right? Maybe we all have to just allow ourselves to have the empty brain days. President Laura Roslin. Woo, now I can sleep tonight. I remembered it.
Empty brain days are fine. I'm on day 3 of a 3-day weekend, and I stayed up way past my bedtime last night watching SNL. So, empty brain day.
Empty brain day. I need one today, but I have to start. I do have some work to do. I actually have a little script to write for a YouTube channel that hired me yesterday. So I'm excited, but I'm like,
exciting.
Yeah. It's definitely good news. Not enough to save my life, but I'm like, but tonight I wish I literally just want to crawl back into bed. And here's and you got me thinking, Addie, and I want to put this to the audience. Do you out there think that to have a true nap? Now, you can have a nap anywhere. You can have a nap in your car. I used to do that at work. You can have a nap at your desk. You have a nap under your desk at work. I did that too in my security days. There's a lot of ways to take a nap, but I think the most complete and perfect nap is one in which you return to bed during the daylight or whenever you're taking the nap. Like a full-on get back into bed is the best, most complete nap. Am I wrong? Am I off base?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking chat, but unfortunately for you, I'm starting with you.
I have never taken a nap in my bed.
Wow, see?
But I'm also not a nap person.
I think there's a connection there. See, I think there's a connection. This is the reason I asked this was a debate I got into my house today because Grace had to wake up at 6 a.m., which is abnormal for us for a business call. And she's really tired. I was like, go take a nap. She's like, I went and laid down on the couch for a little bit. And I was like, get back into bed. And she's disgusted by the prospect. But she, too, has like barely ever had naps in her life.
Yeah, I've always been very bad at napping. Like even when I was a kid, I was never like able to take naps. Usually I know I'm sick because I can nap. Like,
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Your
now
body needs it.
that's not that I should say that for middle of the day type naps. I
Yeah.
am notoriously what my friend Jessica calls taking napatizers, which is what she calls falling asleep on the couch at night before you go to bed.
Napatizers. That's a great. You guys should start a stand-up act, or I'll steal that bit because that's amazing. Yeah, because I was having this lunch with Mark and Josh yesterday. All three of us, famous nappers, like we love our naps. Josh McCouga would regularly fall asleep mid-work at Collider, and I do mean mid-work. You'd look over and he'd just be falling asleep. One time was directing a scene on an exercise ball, and we looked over and he just was draped over the exercise ball asleep. And then Mark Ellis famously loves his naps. I enjoy naps too. When Mark and I are on the road together, we both allot time to go back to our hotel rooms and go back to bed. But Mark took a nap the other day. He said from 5 to 8 o'clock. And so Josh and I were like, "Oh, you went to bed." And he's like, "No, I took a nap." We're like, "No, I think you went back to bed. I think that can once the nap gets to 8 o'clock."
He had an appetizer.
An appetizer. Okay.
I
think this is great.
I had an appetizer at the end of the SNL thing last night. I had to go back and watch. I fell asleep during a commercial break and woke up to Martin Short introducing Paul McCartney, and I was like, "Did I miss anything?"
Did I miss anything?
And then this morning, I realized I missed the prison sketch and the John Belushi film, and I was like, "Oh, I did take a nap." Okay,
did take a nap. Okay, well, that's great. All right, napatizer. All right, asked, answered. You see, I asked the right person, Addie. You introduced a new term that I absolutely love, the napatizer, and yeah, and a lot of great nap thoughts in here. Tully Quinn, I can nap, but a nap has never made me feel rested. Always woke up confused and grouchy. That's great. That's what Grace says about naps. I don't disagree with that sometimes, but also that's also the sign of a good nap to me. Where you wake up, you're like, "Oh, blah, what day is it?" Absolutely love that there.
I just have like weird lucid naps.
Okay.
Where, like, I'll lay on the couch and I'll close my eyes and I know I took a nap, but I also like still hear what's on the TV.
Yeah. I respect that. I have those too, where like I sometimes I've fallen asleep with my phone here, like I'm holding it up and I'm just watching an ASMR video and I just suddenly I'm like, then 10 minutes later, somehow the phone froze and stayed up there and not landed on my face. Okay, so Laserbolt says this. I'm not a nap for 20 minutes kind of guy. It's an hour minimum. Respect that. Hey, I brought this up. 8984M says something that it's true. I know it's true. Some cultures have nap culture. Go back to bed at noon. I'm considering moving to one of those countries. Can we form a list here? Give me some options. The midday siesta. I absolutely think it's important.
Yeah, I'd take one on days that I have a really heavy teaching load. Sometimes I'm like, I could go back to my office and just close my eyes for like 30 minutes, but my desk chair is not comfortable and I don't know the last time my carpeting was vacuumed.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I as someone who's, again, slept on the floor underneath his sergeant's desk at his old job, was literally found by my friend who was walking up and down the office looking for me and was like, thought I went home. And then he found me under the desk, curled up and sleeping. As Rich T said in chat, like George Costanza. Yeah. All right. Okay. This is great. Now I'm getting even more tired talking about it. Osvetnik says, wait, does anyone deal with sleep paralysis? I don't. I'm going to admit something here. Even I don't fully understand what sleep paralysis is. Addie, as a scientist and a doctor of smart things, can you answer that, or should I bring someone on?
I have no idea what Svetnik's talking about. I've never heard that phrase before.
Okay, according to Google's AI, which is never wrong, it's a temporary state of paralysis. Yeah, famously never wrong. Temporary state of paralysis occurs when a person is falling asleep or waking up.
Like, yeah, I don't think move.
I don't think I've experienced that.
No, I have limbs fall asleep while I'm asleep, but
I mean, sure,
I can't move.
Yes. Vermont Mike says sleep paralysis keeps us from acting out our dreams. Okay, so it's a natural state. Do when you break through? I
don't think I would like that,
because I get that thing where do we all get that thing where you do like the jump in your sleep is like Is that anything related? Is that my body fighting through, Vermont Mike? Then I want to get up and do what my dreams are telling me to do. This is fantastic.
I've never done it in my sleep, but that's how I wake up from general anesthesia.
Oh God, I love waking up from general anesthesia.
I metabolize it. I metabolize it faster than they think I'm going to. So I both times I've ever been under, I've woken up being wheeled to recovery, not actually in recovery.
Oh, and like early on. Oh,
I have a very minor panic attack because I don't know where I am.
Okay, I guess that's not fun.
No.
And everyone's describing what they're going.
They're all worried because my heart's racing and I can't breathe. And I've tried to warn them, and they're like, "No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine." And then it happens, and they're like, "What is going on?" And I'm like, "I tried to tell you that this is what would happen."
This is what happened. A lot of people who Serenity Jane says it happened last night. Someone came in and I tried to scream, but I couldn't. I mean, okay, none of you are describing fun things here,
no.
but laser ball, you feel completely awake, but are unable to move for a few minutes. I outgrew it. But Laser Bolt's going to outgrow things because he has to when he's in the wilderness. When Laser Bolt is asleep in the wilderness and a bear comes knocking on his forest meat camp, he's got to wake up fast. That's nature taking over. Yeah, no, well, okay, Svetnik, calm down. He says no one said it was fun. I said it was fun. I was the one who was wrong.
Do you know you're awake and you can't move? Because I think that's the part that would bother me. Like, that sounds like a waking nightmare.
Yeah, okay. Someone's got to call in and share their stories because I like it. Yeah, it sounds dismissive to say, but I'm like, it just sounds just like you're describing waking up. But
chat's saying yes, you're awake, but you can't move.
How long?
That's terrifying.
How long? I've never experienced it, which why I'm curious here. But 2 seconds, 10 seconds, a millisecond, 10 minutes.
Oh, no, I don't like this at all, and I hope it never happens to me.
Pretty sure there's a Hayden Christensen movie about this.
I've only ever seen the Star Wars movies and that one where he's a moody teenager and tries to kill himself.
Maybe a few seconds awake, 2007. Okay, all right. I don't know. See, okay. Because I love going under. I get a little nervous going under because I did have my mom's cousin's husband. I don't know what that makes him and my relations as a family member, but he was one of my favorite family members.
Also a cousin.
He passed away in surgery in his 50s, had shoulder surgery, and he went under and passed away. And it was related to the anesthesia and made him a bit allergic to it. It was a whole thing. It was such a tragedy. So I have, every time I go, and I'm going to go under, even for teeth. Steve said, producer Steve, and he can explain when he gets on the show. He said he woke up in the middle of his wisdom teeth getting pulled. Mm-hmm. I kind of had something like that happen. Grace, who's a natural redhead, they're famously resistant to anything that'll knock you out. So she's woken up in the middle of surgeries before, which is a horror. But once I go under, I'm under. And when I wake up, I just absolutely love that feeling. It's the weirdest thing that perhaps I enjoy, where I feel so uninhibited. I woke up from this is my colonoscopy, people. I woke up in the most vulnerable position, and I look at that nurse, and she goes, "Okay," and I go, "Are you gonna bring me a steak? Cause I'm hungry." Like, I love that stuff, and I'm conscious of it enough to go tell Grace that I said that in the car. She's like, "Oh, great, you're an idiot." So I don't share what happened with you, Addie. I have my own fun memories.
I mean, it's just not to end a fun call on a low note, but it's just par for the course of being told, no, dear, you're fine. Like, it's like, no, this has happened before and it will happen again. It
shall happen again. Vermont Mike has the answer. Sleep paralysis could also be caused by the little gray aliens prior to probing. Yeah, so there you go. It's all connected. It's all connected. There you go. Addie, thanks for the call. You took us to places I did not plan to go to today, and I'm excited.
Sorry, and you're welcome.
Worked perfectly. That's why I love this show. Addie, we look forward to Thursday. Maybe we'll have a little bit, if you're up for it, another 60 seconds of science, and hopefully we'll find some good news this week.
I am already collecting stories. I've got one on the Gila monster. Ooh. I'm very excited.
Look for that Thursday. Addie, our professor of smart things. Thank you, Dr. Addie.
Anytime, Ken.
Anytime with Ken and Alden will be Friday, 11 a.m. We'll be talking more about Saturday Night 50. All right, it is 5 past the hour. We are going to bring on producer Steve. I'm going to bring him on with the camera today because I just want to see that hair. That hair. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Ken. How's it going? Thanks for having me as always.
Yeah, so talk me through this. You were having your wisdom teeth pulled, woke up. What happened?
Oh, man. Yes. Only time I've ever been under anesthesia. I'm
Okay,
a huge wuss when it comes to doctors and needles and blood
Sure.
and
Sure.
all that kind of stuff. I am not good. I don't do good at the dentist at all. So anyway, yeah, I went to get my wisdom teeth taken out. First time I've ever been knocked out. First and only surgery I've ever had.
Okay.
And I just remember, I remember waking up and seeing like the dentists wear like these like wild like sunglasses like while they're doing stuff on you with all like the little things on them. I just remember waking up and just blood just like splatter like you just hit a deer or something.
Yes.
On
his
nurse,
give me a towel. This man's bleeding. Oh, hi, Steve.
And so I just remember, I woke up, I saw splatter. And then he like cracked a smile, like, "Oh shit, we got one that woke up."
We got another one. Yeah, another one got away.
And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, buddy." And then he just like tapped me on the shoulder, and then I could tell they just cranked something into me, and then I was out a few seconds later. And then I woke up. When I woke up, my wife told me later on because I don't remember. She was like, "Yeah, you were just crying when you woke up. You were just like, I woke. You just kept saying, I woke up. I woke up."
I'm alive. I'm alive. Look, it's scary stuff. I when I had my gallbladder removed in an emergency fashion in 2006, Cedars-Sinai, great doctor. But I got woken up, and some nurses were like, "Hey, Ken, hey, how are you? Okay, he's coming to," and they put a clipboard in front of me and said, "We need you to sign this." And something had happened. To this day, I'm not sure what. I don't know if they dropped a scissor in me, but it was a laparoscopic surgery, so there's no big incision. But there's something about blood got somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I'm a Spider-Man right now. It was unfair, and I should have questioned it more, but I just remember going like, okay, and then I kind of passed back out.
There's a piece of you on a black market somewhere. That's yeah. And you didn't even get a piece of it either. You didn't even get like paid for it. Is probably the worst part. So.
Yeah, everyone. I'm 100% telling the truth. And my parents were there, not there, but they were in town and staying at a hotel near the hospital. My girlfriend at the time was staying in the hospital room with me, and I just remember like it was one of those things like, did I dream that? But I know it happened. And I told them, but I don't know when. We just. I'm fine. How are you? Here we are. Like I don't know. There we go. That's great. Well, so sorry you woke up to watch your own blood splattering across a medical professional's face, Steve.
They handled it well. I mean, they could have been like, "Oh shit!" Like, and then like kind of like when you see like the flight attendants like panic kind of thing, like we talked about.
Yes.
Then you worry. So they didn't. There wasn't anything like that. So it could have been worse. So.
Serenity Jane asked, "Sure you got two kidneys? Kidneys? No, I'm not sure. And Gavin says that sounds mighty illegal. Yeah, to this day, I wonder. I'm sure maybe there's a medical record thing I can get. I don't know. Steve, before we get to 16 seconds of sports, I do want to know your feelings on naps, their value, and if going back to bed is the ultimate nap.
I like a good nap. Especially, I like to watch golf when we're in the football off season. So golf is a great Saturday, Sunday afternoon. Let me just have an excuse to sleep on the couch for 2 hours.
Golf is an ASMR video in action. So
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can waking up to and falling asleep to the sound of just like an iron hitting the grass is always just a good ASMR experience. But if you sleep, the problem with me is if you sleep for more than an hour, now you're going to be groggy when you wake up, and now you're going to be grumpy for those first few minutes. So my advice for if you sleep for over an hour, just pound a glass of water as soon as you wake up, and those nap time blues, as I call them, go away. That nap grogginess, if you nap too long, just drink some water. It goes right away.
Love it. Yep. Love it. Drink some water, everybody. You heard that from Daddy Steve. Drink some water.
I did have one more before we got to sports.
Yep,
just real
please.
quick. Addie brought up such a great thing with presidents. I just want to give a few more shout outs to presidents that I enjoy in pop culture.
Yeah.
Jeff Daniels as Washington in The Crossing. Good, underrated role.
Yes.
Keith David as President Curtis in Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
Giamatti as John Adams.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Robin Williams as Teddy Roosevelt.
Right.
And I'm personally a big South Park fan, so Mr. Garrison as Trump on South Park.
I did see some clips of that.
Yeah.
All right, those are great answers. Yeah, there's been a lot of great presidents in our time on TV, movies, depictions. Sometimes we wish we were. Oh, Addie says Issa Rae as president in Barbie. Yes, President Barbie. Excellent answer. I love the John Adams miniseries. You want to get dorky nerd history time going, Steve? I love, and I'm due for a rewatch. You know what? I'm going to put that on my list. Screw Deep Space Nine. Screw the second season of Hacks. I'm going to rewatch John Adams on HBO. Love that.
You'll have to let me know. I have some stories on that one. A buddy of mine had a very, 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 very minor part in that, and he had some interesting stories. So,
ooh, maybe that's an off-air discussion. Ooh. Yeah. All right, this is what we do every now and then. On Mondays, we try to do 16 seconds of sports with producer Steve. I'm slurring my words, and I have water in my Blathering Live mug. Available now in the Fourth Wall Shop. Hit us, Steve.
Here we go. 16 seconds of sports. We are 37 days until opening day. Thursday, March 27th, baseball begins. Pitchers and catchers are reporting now. The NBA All-Star Game happened yesterday, and no one really seemed to care, not even the NBA players. The Jets are breaking up with Aaron Rodgers officially, and the Chiefs have put Travis Kelce on the clock to either get ready to be a stud or go to the glue factory. And a wild finish at the Daytona 500 as William Byron went from 9th to 1st on the last lap. And on Thursday, Canada will play the USA in the final of the Four Nations Cup. If America wins, we get Winnipeg. And if Canada wins, they get Minnesota.
That's going to be an interesting battle. The crowds are ignited right now. What's going on with Travis Kelce? I haven't looked this up yet. Hit me. What's the scoop here? I'll type it in the background here.
Yeah. So from the reports that we've seen on Kelce is, and again, these are all, kind of the insiders telling us what's going on, but it's basically they want a decision sooner than later, for not only for contract reasons, obviously, but so they know kind of how to plan their future going forward with tight ends on the team. And so it happens to be the word on the street is, hey, you might be looking at a reduced role if you come back next year and going forward, not necessarily the focal point of the offense kind of thing. So they want to make sure that he's on the same page with them for that going forward. Now, again, how true this all is, we don't know. Travis Kelce is going to walk into the Hall of Fame, 5 years after he retires, no problem. He's probably one of the best ever. So no questions about that. But
without a doubt,
that's one of those positions where super physical. Once you're at the end, it's going to be pretty obvious. So, he struggled in the Super Bowl for sure, but so did all the Chiefs.
Yeah, and as part of the sexist-driven narrative to blame Taylor for Travis's performance over the last year or two is not only just wrong, it's also ignoring the reality of an advancing tight end in his mid-30s. That's when it is gone and going. So that's a reality. This is interesting. I'm looking at the headlines here. Rumors of the possible breakup. Rumors of the possible engagement. Wow, what a world. Look, I hope he goes one more with Kansas City, and I don't want to see him doing the here's a year in Miami or here's a year in Cincinnati, then I retire after 7 catches or something like that. I'd rather him go out now or do one more year with the team and get a tour around the league one last time.
Yeah, I agree. I think you got to go out, especially with a character like that, with a retirement tour kind of year. No one wants to see that Super Bowl be his last game.
No, and Force Ghost Conversation says Kelce doesn't seem like his head is in the game anymore. And there was that one shot. I think I even mentioned it. There's that one shot of him early in the game. I think Eagles weren't even up 17-0, and he just was on the sidelines like, I was like, oh, the team seems out. The team seems out of it. So there. Now, Osvetnik, a Kansas City fan, says, I'm interested to see what he does. He's got till March to decide. Yeah, that I'm seeing in the story, March 14th. And Laserboat points out the truth, too. Yeah, he's not the first player with a girlfriend. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. All right. Interesting. We'll follow it along there. Would you take him 1 year in Philly?
No, just because he would cost too much money, and we have a lot of people. The Eagles have a lot of people they need to pay.
Right.
So no. But if I was the Dolphins, I would love to have him. I think Tua would love to have a Travis Kelce security blanket. I think Josh
Jimmy
Allen
Smith.
would love to have a Travis Kelce security blanket. So yeah, but I think it'll be interesting to see how much he would command for something like that. I don't think he's going to go anywhere else. I think he finishes in Kansas City, no doubt.
Yeah, I think he does too. All right, and the final thing is, are they engaged or are they breaking up?
Man, I've had at this point they've been together so long. Like, is he the one? Ken, he might be the one.
He might be for her. Now she was there. A lot of people saying, hey, they're not as public. I just think that's a sign of, hey, we did our big circus. Now we're real. We're together. I predict they'll get engaged or announce an engagement soon. That's what I predict.
Okay.
Right.
Before the football season starts?
Yes, I like that. Before the football season starts in September, right? Yep. David McKay says, nah, mate. Nah, shape. Okay. All right. He's not even her longest relationship, but he's her best one, Addie. He's her best one. Oh, sorry, I brought the wrong one up. There we go. All right, what the Daytona thing was interesting. I didn't watch the Daytona 500, but I have in the past. Every once in a while, I'll turn on some racing. A couple years I've been into it, or the Indy 500 comes up a lot too. I'll watch that. It's classic sports. But ninth to first in one lap that's like impossible. That's like when you're on a video game, you press the reset button.
Right. Yeah, it was wild. I didn't, again, full disclosure, I'm not a huge NASCAR fan either, but yeah, watching the end of the race was pretty wild. Seeing this guy, and he won it last year too, William Byron. So that's kind of wild. Thinking going into the last lap, you're like, oh man, well at least I'm gonna squeak into the top 10. Right. And then all hell broke loose in front of him, and he just kind of like snuck on by, on his way to victory. So good for him.
See, that's how we do it, folks. That's what sports teaches us. It could be a mess ahead of you. Keep going. You'll end up in first place. I'm excited about baseball returning. It's going to be a good year. We're going to be talking about it here and covering it here on Box Score Heroes on the Blathering. To what degree, I don't know, but at least have a show a couple times a month. But it is the only sport. Football's off season's long, as we talked about previously, but baseball, that pitchers and catchers reporting the first sounds of the ball cracking against the leather, just gets me so excited. It's good stuff.
We're so close. Yeah, every little bit of countdown. So yeah, now we got pitchers and catchers reporting now, and then spring training will open soon. And then I already got my email from MLB for the league pass, whatever it is, or whatever the heck they call their thing, renewing automatic. I'm like, oh wait a minute, you're renewing 3 weeks before spring training starts? That doesn't seem fair, but okay.
That's dirty. That's dirty.
That's
Force Ghost Anthony says the optimism of spring training is immaculate. It truly is. 8984M says he's nervous about Ohtani's shoulder, but he threw some balls the other day, right? I saw a picture of it.
94, I think I saw. So yeah, I think he's doing just fine.
Use him I can't believe I'm saying this, as a 7th starter or something like that. He'll be all right. All right, final thoughts on sports, Steve. Anything we left on the table that you want to discuss?
No, the only other thing on there was basketball, and the All-Star game was not great. They keep messing with the format. I know you're not a basketball guy. We're gonna slowly dip toes into the water on basketball as things heat up. The playoffs are fun to talk about. So I think we'll get there.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. There's a chance I'll watch Deep Space Nine first, but fascinated by another All-Star game falling to the wayside, though. All of them, the Pro Bowl, and I actually get the Pro Bowl one. It had become a joke, and it's too much of a risk. Now it's flag football. I don't care. But it's weird that we've left that behind. And then the Major League Baseball All-Star game, that used to be a thing, man. That used to be my favorite thing every part of the year. Seeing the players out there in different uniforms. Now they wear the same uniform. It's less serious. Even for home field advantage, when they tried to make it about something in the early 2000s after that tie. There's something to that. I don't know what it is, but there's something about these All-Star games fading away that bums me out.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is we just have so much access to all of these athletes and all of these sports all the time, and they see and play and interact with each other all the time. Whereas back in the day, when you saw the All-Star game, that was the only time you saw, Yep. Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa and like all these dudes all under one roof or whatever, right? So that's I don't know, it just doesn't feel the same way anymore. And I think the other thing is we're just so attention starved now. The last thing we have our time for is an exhibition game. I do wish what I missed about the old All-Star game in baseball was that, it meant something, right? You got home field advantage in the World Series. That was so cool by the idea. I understand why they wouldn't do it anymore, but by principle, it's cool. It gives it stakes, but
it also spoke to a time where, even though they did it well after this had faded away, where the American League and National League were like bitter rivals. There's the stories of, how dare you trade Frank Robinson to the American League? We're the National League. Don't you dare do that. Like all that kind of stuff. That's long gone, but I do miss that feeling. All right. We'll watch some basketball, Steve. Don't you worry.
Yeah, we'll warm up with the college. The kids will get us excited for it here with March Madness soon, and then
you all can get excited after school sports. All right. Steve, thanks for calling in. We'll do some sports on Thursday and come up. We got some stuff cooking up here. It's gonna be
some ideas.
There it is. Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it.
All right, Steve, check it in. I'm almost out of here. I'm going to go. I'm not going to take a nap. I got some work to do, but I might lay down for a little bit. I might lay down 15 minutes. Laser Bowl, can I get 15 minutes? Can I get a fresh charred forest meat in 15 minutes? And then I got to try. I do have to try to work out. That's, even if it's just do a little cardio, go for a walk. 898 forum says, we'll get Ken to appreciate dribbling, passing, screens, and cuts. Yeah, bounce pass. True story. I tried out for the 7th grade basketball team in junior high, Judkins Middle School, Pismo Beach, California. I did not make the team. That's all we'll say. Take 20 minutes. You're a good kid, says Laserbolt. Laserbolt says, I deserve to rest. Final thing I start here, Rich D, fellow Dolphin fan, says, Ken, also, as the ghost person you are, am I a ghost person? Sleep paralysis can lead to hallucinations. Your eyes may open while your mind is still partially asleep and dreaming. This is a big reason why people see ghosts. See, yes, I do. That I have talked about or thought about before. That's what's, we got to study more of this. We got to talk more about sleep paralysis, and we got to talk more about ghosts. We're going to do a ghost show real soon, folks. If you got ghost stories, I want to hear. If you got a good, bad food story, let me know. Like Jared did last week, we covered mayonnaise on hamburgers and hot dogs. It was not the most controversial good, bad food. A lot of people agreed, but that's also kind of the point of the segment there. David McKay says, watch some John Adams on the treadmill. I just might, David. I just might. Okay, just to spite you. That's not right. All right, you guys are the best. Thanks for supporting and appreciate it. Check out Patreon if you want to continue to support there and look for the thing I'm adding soon. I'm working out the details on what to actually offer, but help me build towards the goal of my first comedy special, taped an hour that I want to do a little over a year from now. But that's going to be part of the fun, tracking the journey. To those listening on the audio podcast, I appreciate you very much. We'll see you. Bye.